Here we go. It is the Yeah Come On show, brought to you by so many great sponsors that are just so upset that I started late. But I just want to thank my co-host, Brett Barney. I'm Southside Steve. Our special guest, you already see, is Vinny Bucci, known for many things, wrestling being one of them, a stuntman being a second, being your greatest Home Depot cashier being a third, and being a member of not only the regular guys for many years on Rock 100.5, but also I think you were on 680 The Fan for a moment as well. And here you are. Here you sit, the Booch, on the Yeah Come On show. As Brett Barney pours himself a little Legends alcohol, looks like the number 87, which can be drank straight up, so smooth, or can be mixed with Coca-Cola. How you guys doing?
Fantastic, man. I'm excited. I've always wanted to. It's been a long time since I've seen Barney. I've seen Brett. It's been a long time since I've seen you, and I'm just excited to finally be on the Yeah Come On show, man. I'm excited.
Well, you should be. It's a gosh dang thrill. I tell you, it's starting off rocky. I'm falling asleep in Hot Wheels car beds with my son. Brett Barney's having to leave his abode because a tree fell down to go back to his mama's house to do the show. That's how loyal he is. And you, Booch, you didn't have anything to do but put on a black T-shirt and start talking.
Pretty much. I did clean up the studio a little bit, but outside from that, it's pretty much been my day.
Well, there you have it. Well, I do want to thank our sponsors. First off, Circle 285. God bless those guys. If you're looking for an insurance quote, you might be Booch. Get a better deal than probably what you've been paying. Get more insurance, whether it's home or vehicle. Just get a free quote from circle285.com. Also, oxygenfinancial.com. Ted Jenkins, he's your man if you're looking to invest. The Booch knows who Ted Jenkins is.
Good guy.
And also, we have Ridgeline Counseling. We love Dr. David Markwell. He is there for anyone that needs it. And coming out of a pandemic, there's probably a lot of us that could talk to somebody. And you don't have to go into his office if you don't want to. You can do it on Zoom, but he's a fantastic human being. And he counseled me through marriage. I had marriage counseling with him. Prior to not going through anything, this was before we got married. We met with him just to make sure we were all on the same page.
Steve, if everything is okay, blink. If everything is not okay, blink twice.
Yeah.
That was once. Okay, we're good. We're good.
We're good. Everything's safe.
What are y'all worried about?
I don't know.
We're worried about you.
Yeah, man.
You know, I appreciate it. It's been a tough day. I'm a little burned out. I had enough. You know, when you have kids, you just get to that point. You're just like, I'm here. I can't go any further. I looked at my wife. Even after she woke me up, I'm like, look, I want to explain what's going on, but I had to put Brooks down and I had to do this. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I can't even go into it. I can't even explain what I'm going through. I'm just here. I'm done. Daddy's done. And here I am doing, this is what I love to do, is talk. So this is the most exciting thing I've got going right now. And I think after a while, I finally got burned out. And today was the day that I got burned out by my kids. And I just went, I didn't flex on anybody. Nobody got a spanking. I didn't lose my temper, but I just had enough.
Had enough. It happens, man. You get there. I have a buddy who has kids. I've seen him go through it.
It is the most, I mean, Brett's getting married. Brett, I'm assuming you're going to have kids. Booch, one of these days you're going to have kids in or out of wedlock. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, when it comes to racing, it's just like, ah! But I'm okay. Tomorrow will be a better day. I'm drinking water. I'm afraid to drink liquor. I don't know what I'd do.
Oh, dear God.
Well, I'm drinking liquor, and I'm only drinking one liquor, and that is Legends. And you know why I'm drinking Legends? Because
Talk to me.
Legends is taking care of this podcast, and not only us, they want to take care of all of our listeners. If you are a fan of Legends and you follow @legends_spirits on Twitter and or Instagram, screenshot it, send it to us. I check everything, even the folder that all the, porn fake chicks from Russia send in to our DMs. I check through all of them, every single one. I look through every single one of those porn chicks to find you guys that follow Legends. And you know what? If you do that, guess what? You could win, what was it, $250 bottle of Legends 100 bourbon with 4 crystal glasses in a wood case. Come on. It's not that hard. Follow the Yakimon Show. Follow Legends_spirits. Let us know.
That's all you got to do. And then we're looking for just a message. We're looking for a video. You know, I love a good video. If you can send me a video where somebody's looking totally stupid, jackass style, you know, if you say, yeah, come on in it, that's extra points. But you're right. If you can show me a yeah, come on hat on your head and Legends in your hand, that could win it all.
Oh,
That
dude, I gotta say, we got 1 week left in this giveaway, and it's a pretty frothy hat. I gotta say, you do all that, we'll give you 10 entries. And you know what? For the last week, if you tell us and send us a message, a picture that you're following Legends and us, we'll do double entries for this last week, because next Wednesday we're going to draw whoever the winner is of the big prize. You're gonna get
basically you just get one entry. Don't you just get one entry if you just call into the show, or if you even send an email, you get one entry. But you get these double entries if you have Legends in your hand or a Yeah Come On hat, and then you get triple entries if you have both. And now you're talking about just getting medieval and handing somebody 10 entries into a hat. Obviously, the more entries, the better your odds. But to win a $250 prize from Legends has nothing to do with us. We don't do liquor. I don't give away liquor. I'm not in business. I gave up my liquor license when I sold Southside Steve's. But they'll do that. But from me, yeah, you'll get some, yeah, come on, swag stuff. But just somebody, I want to see who does it. I want to see who sends in a video. Make it clear again, Brett. We're here at the beginning of the Yeah Come On show. Where do they send a video, or where do they send an email or a picture? Make it clear.
Okay, this is it right here. Listen up.
So clear. I want it really clear, Brett.
And I hope to God I get it right, unlike our phone number for 3 weeks. It is at the Yeah Come On Show on Instagram and Twitter. Not only that, that's where you're going to need to send it in, but you need to show me that you follow Legends, which is at Legends_spirits. All you got to do, if you're that lazy, just follow them, screenshot it, send it to us. I will take care of you. I will put you in the hat, the Yeah Come On hat with the American flag on the back. Show me that you are a good, proud American, that you enjoy bourbon, that you enjoy freedom, that you enjoy, well, I was going to get a little political there. I will not do so. That you enjoy me not getting political on this show, that you enjoy Southside Steve 70%, 50%, whatever he is, awake-wise. We need to give this guy a Red Bull. I drink a Bang at 2 p.m. every week before this show, knowing that several hours later, I'm going to have to be cracked out of my mind to do this. And I'm ready to go. I left my house in Decatur, drove an hour and a half up here to get away, or just to find internet so I could tell you, you should be drinking Legends and you should be listening to the Yeah Come On show.
Did you put that plant back there as far as decorative? Because I like it. It's a pretty plant you got there in your background.
I was going to move it. My mom said, please do not do that. It may mark the fireplace. So
don't do that. I like the chair too. It looks. Is your chair soft? Is your chair soft? It looks soft.
God, this thing's amazing. It's a lazy boy, dude. Look at this. I'm gonna sit back.
Oh my God! Look at you.
God.
Look at Vinny Bucci in his studio. I think Vinny Bucci has leather behind him or sweather. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, this is. I got a leather chair right here, and then I got some recliners in the back.
I love it. So do you also, like Brett Barney, do you do the Booch cast from your leather recliners?
Not from the leather recline. I don't do the actual recording of the podcast, but we do have a Twitch account set up now when we do wrestling watch parties. And we had one here in the studio for the Royal Rumble back in January. And we sat in the recliners and watched the show.
Dude, you ought to send a picture in, Booch. You might have a shot at the old Legends gift. I mean, it's just going to be a draw of the hat. You never know. You might need some alcohol. Do y'all drink alcohol during the Booch cast, or y'all keep it straight?
Most of the time we keep it straight, usually because people are driving to the house. But, you know, every now and then, if you see alcohol, it's usually because someone's going to crash over. Because usually people drive to my house, so there's not a lot of drinking going on at that time. There's usually just pizza and soda.
Not Brett. Brett just drinks the drinks. I don't know what Brett does.
There's a thing called Uber. I'm just going to throw that one out there. You get an Uber and you get home safe. Well, I would say you get home safely as long as you don't be those girls that try and fight the driver. Yeah, you get home safely. You got to wear a mask. It's not that bad. Just drive.
No, I like it. You're going with the beard. Is the beard going to be a part of your look for your wedding?
No, so actually I'm shaving it off tomorrow.
I was about to say, Booch, you've had a beard, or you're beardless right now.
Yeah. I've gone with the beard. I've gone without it. It depends on the situation.
Okay.
Last time I grew out a beard, I was shooting a commercial for the social media company that I work for, and we were reenacting a scene from Good Will Hunting. So since Robin Williams had a beard and I was doing the Robin Williams part, I grew a beard out just for that commercial. And then once we were done, I shaved it off.
That was the movie? I thought it was a different movie. I thought it was Brokeback Mountain.
Nah, not that one. I don't think either one of them had a beard in that one. I think they were both clean shaven.
Oh, one of them was a beard. Trust me. I don't know where I'm. That was just, you know what that was? That was just stupid humor for no reason at all. Just because. I like messing with Booch. Booch, you're like a little kid. I like having fun with you. The Booch is back. He's always back. He's always doing something. You know, Brett, where we found him. I think it was Larry from the Regular Guys. Booch is a stand-up comedian. Were you aware of that as well?
I am aware of that. I definitely have questions for him. So you let
Well, I can't wait to get to
ready.
the question segment. But Booch, you know, the thing is, a lot of us have not heard or seen of you, you know, unless you're into wrestling, in a long time.
Yeah.
So please tell us what you're up to right now. Where do you live? Who, if anybody, are you dating? What are you driving? I just don't know anything. I don't even know if you work anymore.
I do. I will say, so right now, currently, I'm still living at home. I'm still in the same spot that I've been.
Brett's at home. Brett's at home too.
Yeah.
Don't you feel bad? That's all good.
No, I don't feel bad. I'm just, you know, I'm still here, and I'm still in Johns Creek. I'm driving a 2012 Kia Forte. That's what I'm driving nowadays.
Okay.
I got, right now I'm working as a social media manager at HVMA, social media. I've been working there since January of last year.
Okay.
And I know earlier you said I was the known for being the fastest Home Depot cashier. I left Home Depot in April of 2017. I ended up going to Lowe's, worked there for 3 years, left, and started working at HVMA. And now currently I'm a social media manager, and I'm also currently working on a sketch comedy show called The Going Live Show, which airs on YouTube right now. But we're currently in the process of trying to get a network deal.
Wow. Look at that. First off, I'm very impressed with what you're doing now.
Yeah.
But I got to ask the question, how do you leave Home Depot? And keep in mind, I have no preference. I shop at both. I've been to both. You know, I probably lean a little more Home Depot just because I'm an Atlanta guy and I love my Atlanta Falcons. So obviously that's the reason. So how did Lowe's steal you away from Home Depot? I mean, that's going to the enemy.
Pretty much. I was at the time when I was working at Home Depot, there was obviously, it's one of those things where, and you know this from the radio world, that whenever there's like new managers coming in or a changing of the guard, they try to make their own rules, and basically whatever the things that you know work, or the things that you know made the place fun to work at. Sometimes when a new manager comes in, they just want to change everything to fit their narrative. And they started making policies that were goddamn ridiculous and things that were out of control. Like, they were grading people based on how they scan. Like, even though I was like the fastest scanner in the world, if I didn't scan it the way they thought it should be scanned, they would grade you differently. Like, one time a manager came up to me, this is the final straw. And my grade for scanning was a 92. Now, we've all been through school. Last I checked, 92 was an A. Am I right or wrong? Usually, you get a 92. Your parents are happy.
Oh, you right.
Yeah.
Your parents don't have to sign that test.
Exactly.
My parents never got a 92. They had to be happy with 84s, 5s.
Yeah. And they said, and my supervisor, who I feel bad about this now because she was just the messenger, tells me it wasn't a 98, so I was being written up. And I said, "Are you fucking kidding?" And I had the ugliest meltdown in the store. where everyone
You did it in the store? You blew up.
She came up to me in the store. I'm like, you should have put me to the side to do this. Like, you just hit me with this at my register. So I'm looking at her like, are you serious? This is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. And
Did you like yell to the line and go, ma'am, take your paint pails somewhere else. Sir, your lumber. I'm blowing. I'm done.
Thankfully, it was quiet at the time. There were no customers, but I had this like ugly meltdown in the store, and I got pissed. So basically, and there was a lot of other shit leading up to that, but that was basically the final straw. So at that point, as pissed as I was, I just gave them my notice and said I'm leaving. And then the next day, I called my friend Kristen because she worked with me at Home Depot for a while, and then she got let go for some stupid crap. But she ended up going to Lowe's, and she was telling me for years, Lowe's is so much better. So as soon as this shit happened, I called her immediately and said, are there any positions open? She said, yeah. She got me an interview. She put me over with the people there. And by the end of that, my last day was April 23rd, 2017. April 24th, I got the call saying you got the job.
Damn.
So within the 2 weeks, I had transferred over.
Wow.
Because at the time, I didn't have one. During the 2 weeks, I'm literally going through the interview process, taking the drug test, doing all this other stuff. My parents are freaking out because they're thinking, Vinny, you don't have a job. How are you going to find a job? And within 2 weeks, Lowe's had hired me because of my experience at Home Depot. And I'm like, I got this.
Yeah. What did they think about what did your parents think about you crossing over to the enemy? They're like, son, it's just like, what are you doing?
They loved it because Lowe's gives employee discounts and Home Depot never did.
Oh.
Originally, my dad was trying to get me to work at Lowe's, but I couldn't get them to call me back. So when I went to Home Depot, they were willing to hire me at the time. So I went there, but they were trying. My dad was literally even my neighbors who were contractors were trying to pimp me out to Lowe's so they can get discounts, trying to get me a job there.
Well, what you did was as bad as quitting Coca-Cola and going to Pepsi, but it worked for you, I guess, for 3 years. So
yeah, it did. And then they started becoming Home Depot 2.0, and this one manager just straight up disrespected me, and I wasn't having it. And basically that day I was also working at HVMA, so I still had another job. So I basically finished out I actually texted my dad because I know I'm still living at home. I can't just up and quit a job. And I learned that the hard way when I left Home Depot. So I had to text my dad, and I said, and he had seen me during how frustrated I was getting and how miserable I was and how I had zero tolerance for rudeness and stupidity. And I dealt with a ton of it during the entire time I worked in retail. So I'd finally texted my dad and said, I think today's my last day. I can't do this anymore.
And he was cool with it.
He texted me back. His exact words were, do what you got to do.
Okay.
Just leave professionally. And I said, I'll try. So
there you go.
I went through the whole rest of my shift, didn't say a word to anybody, went straight to the back, sent an email in the store. I'm emailing everyone saying I'm done. I gave a professional letter of resignation, cleaned out my locker, walked out the front door, didn't look at anybody, didn't talk to anybody, just left. They didn't know I quit till my friend Kristen told everybody. She was the only one.
You don't give 2 week notices. You give like 1 hour notices, and you do it right then and there and just wow.
When I was, if I'm being disrespected, like if I'm leaving in a professional way, I'll give the 2 weeks because I'm like, hey, I got a better offer here, but I appreciate everything here, and I'll shake your hand. But when someone's like just rude to me, I know if I had tried to stay the 2 weeks, I would have been fired because they had sent me over the edge.
Well, look, I don't want to upset you. I know that was years ago.
Dude, you're fine, man. You're fine.
Okay, but creatively, did it affect you with everything that you have going on? Because you have a podcast that I want to hear about. You got your wrestling interviews. Yeah. And one thing, Brett Barney, I want to ask you here as we have you on the Yeah Come On show. There's so much to talk about. Vinny asked me literally, I guess about 3 years ago to meet him, and I did some video work with him. He was trying to eat a car. Did you know that Vinny tried to eat a car, Brett Barney?
Was it a chocolate car? I could eat a chocolate car.
All right. Way too much legends tonight. I'm asleep. You're drunk. Vinny, hold us together. Hold the show together.
All right. Basically, what happened was a couple years ago, I attempted to eat a red 1991 Ford Festiva, like a legit car. And I went, yes, this was true.
Wait,
I did this.
What year? What color was it? Red?
It was a red car because red's my favorite. And it was a 1991. That was the year. And it was a Ford Festiva. because I wanted to start off small because I never done anything like this before. So I picked the smallest car I could find at a price that I could afford. And
I would have eaten a go-kart first before I worked into automobiles.
I guess, but I wanted to go into the automobile, but I didn't think a go-kart would be as amazing. So I went.
Did you clear this through a doctor, a physician? Who did you go to even see if this was possible?
I did go to a doctor, and in the docu-series we show that. I go to a doctor, and of course when I tell him, he has that look on his face, and he gives that initial reaction that everybody has when I tell them this, like, what the fuck are you doing? Or why are you doing this? But when I explained to him why I was doing it and the idea that I had, he understood. Like, he saw, okay, people understood that I thought this out. I didn't just like say, I'm going to eat a car and then ran outside and started chewing on the bumper. I actually researched this stuff to see if it could be done and how it could be done. Because I heard years ago, like in Europe, some guy ate a car and did it in like 4 years. So I knew it was doable, but I knew that no one in America ever tried it. So I thought this could be something I could go with. And when I did it, I found an idea like, okay, what can I do? So I got this idea where I would take the pieces and cut them up.
Okay.
I put them into metal capsules and I ingested the capsules. So when I told him this, the doctor, he said, okay. And he was giving me an idea of, okay, here's how many you can eat a day without really hurting your body. Or if you start to eat and you feel yourself getting pain, stop. Don't try to exceed the amount because too much metal can damage your body. So we're trying to find
does your body digest metal? I don't know that it does. I understand the capsules to get it down your throat.
Yeah.
But did you poop cars?
No, just the capsules. The capsule went in and out.
So the metal never got into your system.
Yeah.
Did you ever just have to go to the bathroom and have diarrhea and just like crap out some rivets or some bolts? Or
in some cases, yeah. Sometimes it took a little longer. There were times where it was a bit of a struggle to get through.
Did you ever like get like a little piece of red fender come out like red fender?
One time, yeah, because there was one show that we did where I was doing the show live in front of people. And on the day we were booked to do this show, the capsules hadn't come in yet. So I was stuck. Like, what am I going to do? I got a show to do. We have nothing. So I'm just there on that first day, just eating the parts.
Eating metal, swallowing metal.
Because I had to get through the show. You know, it was like the show must go on. So, and then eventually the capsule showed up and I started using those going forward. So there were times where I would just be eating the capsule like in my house. And other times I would be
like, you'd look over at your mom and just take a little bite of car, a little capsule.
Sometimes they were less.
Where did this car sit as you slowly devoured it?
Well, I couldn't have it at the house because my mom made that very clear. Like, in the beginning, she was not supportive of this at all.
So you had to do takeout on your car.
Sort of. One of my friends, Cole Casal, who was one of the main directors, because when I decided I wanted to document this, I wanted to do it professionally.
I wasn't going to drink, but I'm drinking Legends now. I can't.
Go ahead.
Get through
and I had worked with these guys in the past. So, and they were a legit production company, the School of Humans. So I went to them and said, hey, I'm going to, and I told them about me wanting to eat a car. And of course, at first they were like, what the hell? But when I told them what I wanted to do, I said, can you guys help me document this? They said, hell yeah. And Cole was one of the main guys. So he had a farm out in Fayetteville. And that's where we would keep the car. Like, for example, when I was on 11 Alive and Joe Flo interviewed me.
Oh, that's right. You were on 11 Alive.
I was on 11 Alive. Yes, I was on a late feed. Joe, the place where Joe is interviewing me is the farm in Fayetteville. That's where I kept the car. So he came out to the farm. We met up at the farm, and that's where he interviewed me. So we kept the car there, and that's where we would take it to shows, and I would just go down there, get pieces. I went to this place in Stockbridge, and that's where we would go cut the pieces up. I would go there periodically. So it was a 2-year process. So I didn't do much entertainment during that time. I did very few things because all my energy went into this documentary. I took a couple gigs here and there though.
Yeah. I just want to say that right now I'm going to be drinking Legends. I was going to do a water show Probably shouldn't be drinking, but the children are asleep. I can't get past a man eating a car. Brett Barney, do you have any question for a man that literally the only American ever to attempt eating a car? There was a guy in Europe that did it. That's all we know.
Did you succeed?
Well,
Hell no.
No, I guess I can give it. No, I mean, I don't want to give away the ending of the docuseries, but
sorry.
Oh, yet?
What?
No, the docu-series is not done. We just now got
it's been out. No, it's been out. It's been out.
Hold on.
It's been out.
Yeah, come on, Joe's got the scoop.
Yeah,
you
it's
didn't
out.
need it.
But basically what happened is I was going through the process, but eventually my body couldn't take any of the metal anymore. I was starting to feel like serious problems. So I went to a doctor, and the doctor basically said, if you keep doing this, it's going to kill you. So I had to have like a sit down, come to Jesus moment with the film crew. Like, do we keep doing this? And there was a part of me that said, yeah, I wanted to keep doing it. But they also said, we don't want to film you killing yourself. So we had ultimately I had to make a choice, and I decided that I couldn't do it anymore. And then there's like, and then I filmed.
So rather than keep your promise, you decided to live.
Yeah, it was that or live. But I got there, and there was a part of me for a period of time where I got so much. I had some people that were still loved the docuseries and were supportive, but I had a lot of like, you get the haters on the internet that were giving me so much shit. I actually went through a moment where I was like, maybe I should have tried to kill myself with eating the car. Because
all right, I don't want you doing that, Vinny. Let's all relax.
No. I meant by eating the car. I'm not gonna commit suicide, Steve.
Okay, good.
I said there's a part that felt like maybe I should have rolled the dice and tried, because so many people were giving me shit over it. But in the long run, it ended up being the right decision. And when we got the ending, because the ending was me sitting down with my mom and Jerry, and I told them I couldn't finish eating the car, and I'm basically beating myself up over it. And here's the best part. No, here's the crazy part.
Here's the crazy part. Nobody sits down with their mom and go, hey, I can't finish eating the car.
Yeah, well, I did it. But here's what happened. When the documentary aired, we had a premiere going on at this like kitchen and bar place. And so there's people there to watch this thing. My mother is trying to like, be a mom and like be inspiring at the end, trying to like, be nurturing and everything. What did she
breastfeed you there?
No. I meant like, just being encouraging. Like she was trying to tell me like, I
heard
you give
nurturing.
100% of this. And my mom says, when you give 100% to something, you're never a failure. The second she says that, the entire room stands up and claps. I ate a car. My mother gets the standing ovation. Keep that at a premiere. My mother gets the standing ovation because of what she says at the end of the docuseries.
Everybody's like,
everybody's like, oh my God, looking their hand away. My mother speaks. They're like, this is so beautiful. Oh, she's so uplifting. And I'm just looking at everybody like, fuck all of you. I ate a damn car.
And that's the thing. You started. Now, did you start at the front of the car, the back of the car, the bottom, the top? And how far did you get through the car? How much car's left?
Basically, all that's left is the whole interior's gone. The driver's side.
You ate the interior of a car?
Yes, I did. The seats, everything. The only thing that's still there is the driver's seat. That's it. Passenger seat's gone.
Wow.
Back seat's gone. The driver's side door, that's gone. The glass.
How long did it take you to do that? How much car were you eating a day?
I was eating a lot a day, and this was shot over 2 years that I was doing this. It's been shot over a 2-year period.
Do you still own the car?
Yes. We still have it it's still at Cole's farm. He still has it.
Have you ever thought about auctioning it off on eBay, kind of like All Gas No Brakes did with his suit?
Maybe. I mean, it's not something we've thought about recently, but we might get into that. But what happened was when we finished filming it, like I said, I thought that I had failed, but Cole was telling me, hey, even though you didn't finish eating the car, this story is so good. I think people will still want to see this. So we tried submitting it to Sundance. They wouldn't take it. So ultimately we sold it to Adult Swim. And they
Awesome.
aired it. So they aired it, but here's the problem. They aired it twice and then they shelved it. They didn't archive it. You couldn't show it again. They just left it alone. So for 18 months, it was sitting in limbo because they owned it for 18 months. So literally there were people who never saw this because.
So you didn't have the rights to show it. Once they bought it for that period of time, it was theirs to show.
Not only that. Sorry.
Okay.
No, not only that, but I couldn't do any publicity for it. Like I was trying to call you. I was trying to get everybody to promote this thing. I wanted to come on here. I wanted to come on Bailey and Southside. I wanted to go to the Bird Show. I wanted to go to 11 Alive. I wanted to promote the shit out of this thing, but Adult Swim handled all the promotion and they wouldn't do anything for it. So it's like, it just sat there. But then eventually after the 18 months was up, we got the rights back. Cole said, we're going to take this and we're going to change it up. So we turned it from a documentary into an episode series. And we shot it. This time we made it black and white, and we added never before seen footage that didn't make the final cut. And it's now a 7-episode series on Amazon Prime. It's called Booch and the Car instead of Booch Eats a Car, which is the original title.
All right. The Yeah Come On show, if you agree, Brett, you can nod or say something. We support this. We say it is worth going to watch. We say support Vinny Bucci. See this on Amazon Prime. No joke. It's
Amazon
there.
Prime, Booch and the Car. It's on Amazon Prime. It says Atlanta man Vinny Bucci attempts to eat a car, and it's 7 episodes. 7-episode series.
Holy shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think you knew this. I mean, Vinny started off as a huge wrestling fan. That was his claim to fame.
Yeah.
But along with comedy. And now look at him. And you've been to a lot of different comedy clubs. Do you still perform on stage and do stand-up, or have you shelved that with the car eating stuff?
I wouldn't say I've shelved it. I've definitely kind of taken a step back from it. I've performed a few places. Since the last big show I did was the World Series of Comedy. I was performing, doing different clubs across the country. I was in Tennessee. I was in Florida. I went to Vegas. They had a big show in Vegas. I got to perform there. I went to Missouri. I went to East St. Louis, did a show out there, and I had some interesting wrestling moments at that show. Just literally a wrestling.
Is wrestling a part of your humor? Is that kind of
some cases? Yeah. But I had,
everything about wrestling. Matter of fact, Brett, you can ask Booch anything about wrestling and he knows it. Just, do you know anything about wrestling?
I'm going to go there.
All right, because we're coming up.
My questions start.
Yeah,
we're coming up with the questions. That's the one thing, Booch, on the Yeah Come On show. We have a nice, fun conversation. We start off with some backwards music because I don't have the rights to play the music the way I want to.
Yeah,
and then we jump into it. And we try to always have a guest, and we keep it real, and we try to find Atlanta's most famous people, and I think, or characters, and I think you come under both.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, when I turn you loose on Brett, and Brett has you in his clutches, I don't know the questions ahead of time, so I cannot prepare you for that part. But what I will do is try to let people understand you prior to. Brett makes an ass out of you. Brett, are you going to be mean to the Booch? You're going to be pretty cool. Have you decided? Is it?
These questions are brought to you by Legends. I'm just kidding. That's not true. they're my dumb brain. I probably shouldn't do a fake sponsor. Legends is sponsored the show, but not the questions. That's my own dumb self.
I can't believe we're both drinking the same bottle. And the funny thing is we bought these.
Can we touch bottles?
Clink, 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 clink. There you go. But Booch, I'm glad that you're home safe and not drinking. I do want to give you a cigarette break right now because I bet people are just overwhelmed by you and who the Booch is, knowing that you have a Prime. I mean, dude, Amazon Prime special 7 series, dude, that's huge.
Yeah.
And and look at the places you've done stand up. Oklahoma, hello. I mean, damn it. And then and you're still at home saving the money, being creative, and you work for Lowe's and Home Depot. I don't even know how many people have ever even done that. That is like working for Budweiser or Miller or Coca-Cola or Pepsi or back in the day Delta or Eastern. It's just things you just don't do, but you did it. You crossed the line.
Yeah.
Now I've got to ask, and I've met in the past, is there a woman in your life right now?
Currently, no. I have had a few girlfriends here and there. I know most regular guys fans, the only one they really knew was Andrea, because I introduced you to her when we had the golf tournament thing. She was with me there.
Was that one of our nude tournaments, or were people wearing clothing at that one?
It was a mini golf. We were just playing mini golf at Wild.
Oh, that was our putt golf tournament,
yeah, exactly.
which I love. I still say we should do that again. I thought it was fabulous. Yeah. I remember her. Did anybody you date have a problem with you eating a car?
Not necessarily. The last girl I dated didn't really have a problem with that. And then, and that relationship lasted for a little while. But right now, currently I'm single.
Okay. Single.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
Yeah. Just hanging out.
All right. And now there's something else that you were doing, and maybe people can check this out. I saw that you were doing a show while driving your car. Now you're concentrating on driving, but you were doing like a driving show. What was that?
Well, that was just me going on Facebook Live and
behind the wheel of a car while driving.
Well, what I did was I have a thing where you can mount your phone on the dashboard, so I'm not even touching the phone. And all the links I put in there, I type them in before I drive. So I put them in there, and the last one that I put out, I usually do it when I have something to say, or when I feel like talking. And yesterday I just went on this big epic rant because somebody on Facebook, I had a neighbor on Facebook who pissed me off. Basically, what happened was a few days ago, it was on Monday. Some guy, we found out later who it was, but someone parked their car in front of my driveway and was blocking the driveway.
So you couldn't even get out of your driveway.
Well, my dad couldn't get out. I was parked on the curb, so I was able to get out. But my dad had to do like this 3-point turn at 5 o'clock in the morning just to get the hell out of the driveway, because he was blocking up a good chunk of it, as well as the mailbox. I didn't know it was there since 5 in the morning because I was leaving the house around 9:30 to get to work at 10. So I took pictures of the car. I get to work. My dad all of a sudden calls me up like an hour into my shift and said if I knew anything about this car. I said, I didn't even know you knew about this car. And he said, well, if it's still there, I'm going to call the police. So I said, well, I'm on the neighborhood Facebook page. You want me to make a post and, kind of give a warning out? He said, sure. So I make a post and I said, whoever's car this is needs to move it now if it hasn't been moved already. If my dad sees it when he gets home from work, the police will be called. And because I got to say whatever's on my mind, I wrote, personally, I don't know who the fuck thinks it's okay to park their car in front of somebody's driveway when you're not visiting them, but it's not. They're lucky I didn't take a bat to the fucking windows. Send. Now one guy commented and said, you can just call the police. I said, yeah. We're going to do that. Another guy commented underneath, and this is what inspired the video. He said, and I could tell he was a snowflake from his comment. He was like, I just think it's worse that we have a neighbor who's violent than someone who parked their car illegally. And I'm like, fuck you. You're just saying that because the car's not in front of you. It's not in front of your car. You don't mess with other people's property. And I just go on this rant. And
find that fucking neighbor and park in front of his driveway.
Oh, I'm tempted to. And here's the thing. I get home at 4 o'clock. The car's still there.
Whoa.
So we find out. So now my dad is pissed. He has his car parked in front of that car just on principle.
So the car couldn't leave at that point. So you wanted the car to be stuck so you could find out who did it or get the police there.
Yeah. So my dad sees the license plate, calls the police.
Got it.
So they find out, they call the person whose car it is. Turns out it belonged to this kid, this teenager who was 2 houses down. I guess because he's dating this girl, and I think my theory is he was hooking up with this girl, but it didn't want his parents to see his car, so he parked his car at my place. And so he finally comes jogging back to the car.
You can't make this shit up.
We can't. So he's banging this girl 2 houses down, goes up, and my dad is fuming. He is fuming, and my dad's like. He's like, what the fuck makes you think you can park your cars? My dad's full-blood Italian. What the fuck makes you think you can park your car in front of here? And this guy looks at my dad, who is 60 years old, and says something that if I was to say it to Brett, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when you say it to someone older, it's not cool. And Steve, you'll probably back me up on this. He looks at my dad and goes, my bad, man. And now he's even more pissed. He's like, next time you park your fucking car here, I'm fucking towing it. Get out of my property. And the dude gets in the car and just peels out.
I love it.
But
Yeah.
my dad
You don't say my bad, man. No,
not to
you
someone
say
older. Not someone older than you.
Little respect. Sir, I'm sorry for blocking your driveway while I was tagging this girl next door. I apologize.
Exactly. Like, if he had said, I'm sorry, sir, or mister, my dad probably would have been calmer, but the my bad pissed him off. Like, I can say my bad to Brett because we're close to the same age. I can say, Brett, my bad, I shouldn't have done that. But I would never say that to like someone older than me. I ain't that stupid. It's a whole generation thing.
Yeah. I will say I accidentally parked my car in the wrong driveway when we were in high school, and I parked behind my neighbor who worked actually for Delta and couldn't get out, and I parked right behind him, and he knocked on my parents' door at 5:30 in the morning, and I was passed out downstairs with one pants leg on and one off. And let's just say I was a little inebriated driving home, something dumb you do in 1981. Yeah. But yeah, it was a mistake. So, I learned my lesson. You don't park in the wrong driveway.
Epic.
But
I did have one time when I was in high school, the girl that I was dating, whenever I'd pull up to her house, like she lived up on a hill. So I'd park, right past the driveway, but I would park between her driveway and the neighbor's driveway. And we were hooking up one night, and it was like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like 17. So my parents are like, this kid needs to be home. I guess they were calling me. I didn't have my phone with me. My dad decided to drive over, went up to the front door, banged on the front door because he saw my truck sitting between two driveways. Guess what? He picked the wrong driveway.
Oof.
And went to the wrong house.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
And that only made it even worse for me when he figured out the right house.
Yeah, we've all done stupid stuff. Driveways are tricky, man, when you're young. They're just tricky. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Booch, but I do notice that you do go on and do your rants and talk while driving. But as long as I know everybody's safe, you're not going to hurt anybody. Your car, your phone's mounted. Yes. We're okay, I guess. But absolutely. That's one of the other things that you can do when you follow Booch. So before I turn you over to Brett, I do want to give you a cigarette break. If anybody wants to follow Bucci and see what he does on a day-to-day basis, how do they do that? And what exactly do you have going on right now? You have your car show. You had an eating a car show, but now that's on Amazon Prime. You have a wrestling podcast, as far as I still know. And are you currently on any radio stations at the moment?
Currently on any radio stations, no. I did almost get on a radio. I had an interview once with Cox Media, so I thought I was going to get a shot at getting on there, but they wanted somebody with. They asked me how much radio experience I had. I said 7 years. They wanted somebody with 10, which I thought was weird because the resume, because the job description said 5, but I was like, okay, I have 7. So I said, okay, because I did the time with Rock 100. I did the sports show with Larry on the Fan 2. One of my friends, Joey Wenzer, had a show on AM 920, The Answer. So I was on a show with him. And,
okay.
And I counted the internet show because when I was on Blog Talk, I treated that like a real radio show. So combine all that, that's 7 years of radio experience. So, but as far as podcasting goes, I just moved my podcast to Anchor. So we're now on Anchor. The Boochcast is on Anchor, Spotify, Breaker, and Google Podcasts. That's where you can find the show on any of those platforms.
Is it on once a week or every day? When do we watch it?
It's once a week. I have episodes up. Right now I've been posting classic interviews. April 12th is when we're going to come out with brand new episodes. We're starting.
Can we watch it or do we have to listen to it? Do you have any camera stuff? Are you on YouTube?
It's an audio show, but we do have a YouTube channel. The Boochcast is a YouTube channel. I have a show on there right now called Boochcast Reviews Dark Side of the Ring, where I've been where me and sometimes the cast comes with me, the team's with me, but mostly it's by myself, where I've been looking at the episodes of Dark Side of the Ring that they've had, like the match made in heaven with Randy. They talk about the relationship between Randy Savage and Elizabeth, or the Montreal screw job where they did in-depth look into that, or the killing of Bruiser Brody, the mysterious death of Gorgeous Gino, which is a story I haven't even heard. That's the cool part about Dark Side of the Ring. There's wrestling stories that I didn't even know about that I'm now learning from this show, which was amazing. Like I heard of Dino Bravo, didn't know he was assassinated. We talk about that story. I know Jimmy Snuka and Nancy Argentino. I just filmed the video for that earlier today. and that'll be coming
There you go.
The Life
All
of
right.
New Jack. So that's on the Boochcast YouTube channel as well. So we got some stuff up there. We put some content up. I have a Twitch channel for it now where we do watch parties. And at some point this year, we're hoping to get a D&D show on there because I found out that all my Boochcast co-hosts are not only fans of wrestling, but they're also fans of Dungeons and Dragons. And my buddy's got me hooked on it now, which I used to think that game was stupid, but it's actually kind of fun when you look at the role-playing aspect because it reminds me of being like an actor. You know, I get to play a character. So it's actually not as nerdy as they make it out to be. You can actually make
it's close.
It's close. It's very close. I will give you that.
Close.
It's very close. But if you you can make it your own, so it's not quite as nerdy.
All right.
So those are the kind
how
of
do people follow you? Like, do you have your Facebook? You have an Instagram, Twitter?
Yes. Vinny Bucci on Facebook, and parentheses, there's the Booch, so I'm easy to find. Twitter is at Vince Bucci, VinceBucci. Instagram is at Booch365 is my Instagram handle now. Booch365.
How do you spell your last name?
My last name is legally spelled Bucci. That's how it's legally spelled.
But the Booch is your nickname.
Yes, and that's I spell it Booch just to make it easy. And
okay.
So 365 is the handle for that, Booch365 for Instagram. And
boom. So now you know a little bit about the Booch there, Brett Barney, and now I'm going to let you take over. It is the Yeah Come On show with Southside Steve and Brett Barney and our special guest, Vinny Bucci, who I've worked with in radio. And I've played a small role. Did I get cut, or am I in this docu-series?
You did get cut, but I fought to keep you on.
Son of a bitch.
I fought to keep you on, but they said that the overall story, it wouldn't work to keep you in. I was like, no, we need to have them in there. But ultimately, it was one.
I met you at a restaurant. I gave up a night. I hung out.
Dude, it wasn't my.
I filmed.
I lost that argument, but I fought to keep a lot of things in, but that wasn't one of them. But I do plan on taking that
floor of a 7-part series on.
Well, here's the thing. At some point, there's going to be a YouTube channel for the show, for the docuseries, and I plan on putting that up as a deleted scene. So I'm going to get you up there. So trust me. But I fought to keep you in the documentary, but for what we were doing, they said it wasn't going to work for whatever reason. So I lost that fight.
All right. Well, the Yeah Come On show, Vinny Bucci, special guest, Brett Barney. Here we go. Question time.
Okay, so first off, I do have to lay this out. I knew who Vinny Bucci was because, as Steve knows, I was a fan of the Regular Guys, and I listened to the show. And the first time we actually ever met, I was on location with 106.7 when I think iPhone 5 came out at Lenox Mall, and there's a big-ass line of people, and I show up to do on-site live hits for the station, and there's only one other person doing live hits there, and I turn and look, and it's Vinny Bucci, and I was like, "Yeah, what's up, dude?" And that's how we first met. And
that's cool.
I was like, "So who's good to talk to?" And he gave me all the people, and I was like, "Thank God we worked for the same company, because if we didn't, I would have been like, talk to that guy, the security guard, get him kicked out." Now, here's the real question. First off, when Steve came on your show, the deleted scenes, did he show up an hour late?
Surprisingly, no. I'd say it was about 15 or 20. But no, I'm kidding. He was on time. He was very much on time. Him and Amanda were both there. But Amanda wasn't in the shot. She kind of sat out to the side, but he was there too. And I had Jerry Truman with me because he was filming it. So Jerry had the camera, and I was trying to set it up in a way to where, we wanted it to look natural. So there was no script or anything. I will say the only part that was scripted was the part where I asked him for the favor and he says yes, because when I first asked Steve to do this, it was back when he was hosting weekly rock shows at Jimmy's Tequila and Carnes. He was hosting there regularly. So at the time I was in the bathroom and I'm looking at, and I'm at the urinal. There's a big post that said car and bike show. So I thought this would be a good place to bring the Eat a Car thing. So I went to Steve, and I didn't have a camera with me, and I wasn't going to bring one because I'm not going to spontaneously shove a camera in Steve's face. I thought that'd be a dickish thing to do in my mind. Maybe it wouldn't have been. He might have been cool with it. I don't know.
I don't care.
Okay, good to know. So I asked Steve, he introduced me to the owner, and the owner said yes. But then I thought to myself, I kind of need this on tape, or I felt like I wanted it in the documentary because A, I thought it would make sense to have that moment in there, and B, I wanted Steve in there because, I try to get as many people as I know in the show because Steve is one of those guys that's, been very helpful for me. And, he did look out for me. And, we worked together on a lot of things. And, Steve, at first I didn't really know what to think of him when I was first on the show. But after a while, Steve and I really got to know each other, and he's a really cool guy. So we started getting along really well, on the show. It took a little while, but eventually everything started being cool.
There you go.
So I wanted Steve in the show. So I called Steve and we set up the thing, and the whole conversation is completely improv. And until we get to the point where I ask him for the favor, that's the only part that's scripted. So it's kind of like, it's like a wrestling match where, the wrestlers go out to the ring and they know the finish, but everything leading up to that is on their own. That's kind of how this was. So it wasn't like completely scripted. We knew that it was going to end with me, hey, can you talk to the owner of Tequila and Carnes? And he said, I'll make it happen. How we got there was whatever. So we have this cool back and forth conversation. So
that ended up on the cutting room floor of a 7-part series. How do you end up on this? I mean, dude, you didn't film that much. I mean, I would have thought you needed me, and I'm on the floor.
I thought I did. I thought I did, but they told me for some reason they didn't need it for the story. And I was like, yeah, we do. I'm like, it's Southside freaking Steve. We need as many celebrity appearances as we can get on this thing.
Do they not dig me? Do they not dig me over at the Adult Swim? Is there an issue?
No, I don't think that's it. But for whatever reason,
I'll take it. It happens to the best of us. I'm really not upset, but it's a shame. But I look forward to when you host your show with deleted scenes. Yeah. What else you got, Brett?
All right, I'm going to start hammering on the questions that I just started writing when I knew Vinny Bucci would come on the show. I'm going to start with this first one. Vinny, if you and I were standing right now around a crowd of people and someone told you to finish me off, what would you do next?
To finish you off? Like we talking like a fight here, or okay.
My mic's on mute at this point.
Okay, finish him off. Well, my first question would be, what do they mean by that? Because I need clarification. And it would depend on why I'm finishing him off. Were we in the middle of a fight and it's like, finish him? Because obviously if we're in a fight and you were swinging at me and I'm defending myself and someone says, finish him off. Yeah, I'm gonna finish him off. I'm gonna knock his teeth out. But if we're just sitting there being casual and someone says, finish him off, I'm like, why? We don't have a problem. We're cool. We're having a conversation. So it depends on the circumstances surrounding why I would be finishing you off, how I would go about that.
I just want to enter this in. What if you were both naked
in Jell-O
and somebody said, finish him?
Well,
finish him off.
If at this point, if I've already agreed to be naked in Jell-O, the jokes are already going to be flying off the hinges anyway. So,
by the way, I'll save you here. I did put Vinny Bucci in a situation. I did have him wrestle in a strip club against
yes, he did.
A stripper or two, and he lost, and he was exposed completely. Little nudity. It got out of control.
I still don't know where the box cutters came from. Where the hell were they keeping?
This chick brought a box cutter into literally, I don't know, was it oil? Did we have you in pudding? Was it, I forget what.
I think it was like some type of shaving
cream or whipped cream. She brings a box cutter in just to cut Vinny's undergarments off. It got weird.
Because they hadn't been able to take them off for the longest time, and I guess they all got fed up. And they ganged up on me. They cut the pants off. I'm like crawling for my life. I think I actually fell off the stage and hit the floor. And they're spinning they're taking the underwear, they're spinning around, doing some kind of like war dance and shit, like they're celebrating in victory.
That happened.
Like
Saw it.
they were like the Amazon girls from Wonder Woman just celebrating.
Well, my finish him off question came from I saw the commercial for the new Mortal Kombat movie, and I was like, finish him. And I was thinking, well, what would be his finishing move? And I guess no one will ever know. But I do need to know, on a scale of walking on the moon to Pam Anderson's tits, how real is wrestling?
Wow, how real is wrestling? I'm from a scale of walking on the moon to Pamela Anderson's tits. I would have to say I don't know what the middle ground would be, but I would probably say
Pam Anderson's navel?
Probably around there. I would say wrestling is about, I would say maybe 80% scripted, 20% real. I would say it's an 80-20 kind of thing, because in wrestling, the secret to making the whole thing scripted is to tell a little bit of the truth. If you tell a little, like if people think that A and B are real, then C, D, and E must be real, even if they're not. So some of the best moments in wrestling have been when someone says something that's like real or honest, or something that fans are really thinking. And then all of a sudden you're like, that's why, like, you know, like, I don't know how far wrestling you watch. There was a moment where CM Punk was sitting, you know, with his legs crossed on the Titantron, cutting this vicious promo on John Cena and everybody, and basically trashing the entire WWE. Like, he was making fun of, like, the fact that he's the best in the world and that he gets treated like this. Vince McMahon's holding me back. At one point, he actually says, I like to think this company would be better after Vince McMahon's dead, but it's just going to get taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stinking family. And the crowd starts booing. But then he turns it on the fans and says, you guys still buy the tickets to come to this show, and you buy the programs that my picture's not even on, so you're just to blame as he is. And he goes off. So the shoot part was him not getting the push and blaming the McMahons. But then the work part is he turns it on the fans. So now the fans are thinking, oh, this is happening. They are treating him like crap. I hope he wins the title. So by doing that, it all of a sudden draws money, even though the whole thing is a work, because he told so much real, honest stuff, the fans bought into it. And when you do stuff like that, because you can easily in wrestling just tell real stuff all day long. That's why it doesn't really work. You can say, like, oh, I know these two aren't really brothers, and I know these guys really don't have a fight, and the fans are going to be like, I don't give a shit. I just want to see a match. But if you can take something that's real, put it into the context of a storyline and make it work, the fans buy into it, and it draws money. So I'd say it's 80% scripted, 20% real, because that's how you draw money.
I didn't understand the question. I think Pamela Anderson's on her third set of breasts, and are you saying we did not walk on the moon?
Oh, no, we walked on the moon.
Thank you.
He hit a golf ball on the moon.
So that is believable.
That was real.
That's the real.
Pam Anderson
Pamela's
was
breast,
fake.
So not real.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do have one last wrestling question, and then I'm going to hammer into, obviously, TRG and Southside Steve with y'all too. Sure. Will any moment in wrestling ever compare to the Attitude Era?
That's hard to say, because
no, it's easy to say. Just say no.
No, honestly,
dude, come on. You had The Rock. Who's The Rock? The Rock is everything. He has his own TV show about him as a child.
Yes.
Stone Cold Steve Austin has done so much after that. I mean, you can go on and on and on about the people in the Attitude Era. I mean, Kane, Undertaker. This is when I watched wrestling, and I was a big fan.
Well, here's the thing. What you just said sums up why wrestling won't be the same. Because in the Attitude Era, they had stars. Today, there's just wrestlers. Like, they're a dime a dozen. Like, what people don't understand is, like, they care more about how many moves a wrestler can do rather than how well they can talk, how well they can work in a ring. Like, people complain about guys like Goldberg or Hulk Hogan that are in their 50s and 60s and whatever, but they still come back and have matches. The reason they're able to do that is because they know how to get emotion from the fans without abusing their body as much. I mean, they definitely abuse their bodies. They've definitely been through some pain. It's still not, like I said, it's pro wrestling. It ain't ballet, but they know how to do it without abusing their bodies as much. The guys today just dive head first out of the ring. They're doing triple somersaults through a flaming table, which once you've seen all that, you can't top it. And there's no reason or rhyme to do it. And you're basically killing yourself. And when you do stuff like that and you kick out, then that's not going to kill you. What's going to kill you? Like they basically are aware that everyone knows.
I think a 24-pack a day about killed Ric Flair.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. But my point is that that's why they don't know how to be stars. They only know how to wrestle, and a wrestler can easily be thrown in. It's like the difference between a radio guy, and I'll use radio terms. It's like the difference between a radio guy with a personality that everybody knows that can get people excited.
Southside Steve.
Southside Steve, and the guy that gets on the radio and just goes, the Falcons beat the Jets 3-2 yesterday, and it's a good chance of by the way, it's a good chance of rain outside if you're looking at the weather today. And by the way, don't forget our sponsor, Just for Men. Go over the Just for Men, blah blah blah. And the guy who just monotone sits there and does that shit. He knows the basics, but he ain't getting anybody interested. Meanwhile, you got Southside Steve coming on saying, yeah, come on, and saying funny things like, to me, making love is holding a woman's hand in public. I will never forget that quote as long as I live. That's the funniest shit ever. But stuff like that gets people's attention. Like, you're glued to that. You're listening. You're like, what the hell is he talking about? But it's funny as hell. Like, that's the difference. That's why the Attitude Era can't be replaced, because it had characters. It had people you could believe in. And even though they did suffer injuries and hurt their bodies, they didn't have to do it as much, because you had The Rock that could just say 50 million catchphrases and then go out there, do a couple of moves, and the crowd goes freaking crazy. You had Austin that had like maybe 4 moves at best when he was stone cold. But he could go out there and say, give me a hell yeah, flip somebody the bird, hit him with a stunner, drink a bunch of beers, and boom, there you go. Crowd goes home happy.
Yeah.
That's why the Attitude Era can't be replaced, because you don't have anybody that you don't have a star. It's like the joke that Jim Cornette always says. It says, when I watch wrestling, I hope somebody would whack me in the head so I could see some stars.
Damn.
That was all I had. That was all I had for wrestling. Now I'm going to get into your comedy real quick, and then I want to TRG you real fast. Have you ever sold, purchased, or stolen a joke?
I've never bought or sold a joke. I wouldn't say that I ever stole one. I did use it. I did use a punchline once, like 10 years ago. What happened was I used to do this joke about being a comedian with a B plan. And I said that I called it in case shit. And I found out later that was something Chris Rock said, which I had not realized till somebody told me. And then eventually I cut the joke. I cut that part from my act and didn't use it anymore. But there was that period of time where I did do that. But that was when I was 19, I was 20, I was young into comedy. And I did go through that. I did have that moment, and not my proudest moment, but it was like, that was the one joke out of several that I've told. So ever since then, every joke I've written has belonged to me, and you can notice it in my act.
Hey man, dude, no hate on that. People write stuff, and sometimes it sounds similar. So
yeah, I
have to ask you, what's the most memorable moment that you had on the Regular Guys?
Wow, that's a tough one. It's a tie. Am I allowed to have a tie?
Yeah, you can have a tie.
Yeah. Okay, because there's 2 moments that stand out to me the most. The first was WrestleMania Access. I think was probably my biggest moment, because it was when WrestleMania had come to Atlanta. Because that's how I became the wrestling guy. Because Shawn Michaels had come in, Roddy Piper was coming in, The Miz was coming in, and all these wrestlers were coming in. So that's when people realized I was this big wrestling guy. Because everybody else is talking to Shawn like it's no big deal, and I'm just like, hi, Shawn, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Because I never met him before, and I was starstruck. Then I met him 3 times. By the 3rd time, I'm talking to him like I'm talking to you. So, and then later on, when, as people know, when WrestleMania would come to town, in the mornings, all the radio stations would set up booths, and they would have wrestlers come in and talk. Well, I found out later, I can't remember if it was Larry or all 4 of them, but I know definitely Larry was there. They went to the program director and said that they needed me to go there. Because I thought I was going, but someone told me interns weren't allowed to travel on remote. But they were like, no, we need this guy because he knows the wrestlers. Like Larry and Steve and everybody, they knew the legends. They know the Hogans, the Pipers, the Shawn Michaels, the Triple H's of the world, the Matt Hardys. They don't know Kofi Kingston. They don't know Wade Barrett. They don't know Sheamus. They didn't know any of the other current people. They needed me to do that. So they fought to get me on there, and I go down there. And at the time, Larry had been pressuring me to shave my head.
I was going to say, I thought we shaved your head there.
You did. They did. But and for weeks I was telling Larry no. It was one of the few times I ever said no to something on the show. I didn't say no often, but that was the one time I was like, I'm not doing it. Because I was one of those people that was insecure about being bald. I never wanted to be bald ever. It was just that to me. I could have one patch of hair on my head. I'd still comb it every day. I was never going to be bald. That was me. And Larry knew. So Larry brings a buzzer, and he says, we're going to talk about this on the air. I said, we can talk all we want. I'm not doing this. So we get on the air, and I remember I'm sitting in a chair right here. Larry's across from me. Eric's right there. Steve's like next to me right here. And I think Tim's over there. And Larry looks at me and says, he tries to open up. He goes, you know, Booch, for a long time, we've been wanting you to shave your head. And I said, yeah, and I keep saying no, so I don't know why you keep asking me. I'm like determined not to do this. He said, I know, but I want to make a deal with you. I said, I'm listening. And he goes, I want to get, since you won't let us shave your head, will you let the wrestlers shave your head and autograph it? And I thought about it for a couple seconds, and I went, and in my head, I'm thinking, crap, he's got me. He's got me. I'm like, yep, I'll do it. So we had everybody from Jimmy Hart to Christian to Drew McIntyre to Shawn Michaels, Santino Marella. One by one, they all shaved my head, autographed it. And what was funny was we made the WrestleMania diary on WWE.com because Shawn Michaels had gotten inducted into the Hall of Fame that year. So there's a picture on there of Shawn shaving my head and Southside Steve with his camera phone taking it. And we were on WWE.com. They didn't say our names, but the picture was there.
That was the dude with the ponytail, right?
Yes, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, because we took a picture from behind and everything. It was pretty cool. Yeah. I remember that dude.
Sadly, he doesn't have the ponytail anymore, but
no.
At the time he did, and it was great. So that was the first moment. The second moment for me, I got to say the roast was for me. The high, because that to me was the moment where, because when they set up the roast, I didn't think I was going to be part of it. Then all of a sudden my name gets added, and it was, and I knew that on the regularguys.com website, they were saying who's most likely to bomb. And the guys with the most votes were me and Herman from Dunwoody, were the two people. Now, they got it half right because Herman did not do very well. But when I went on there, I felt like I had this chip on my shoulder because I had some segments that were doing well beforehand. Some were doing good, some weren't. And I had this idea in my head, like, if I don't kill this thing, I may get kicked off the show because I know my segments weren't doing well because I was new to all of this. I had never done radio. I had never been in that environment, so I had no idea what I was doing. It's like learning how to swim, but instead of having a lifeguard, my dad throws me in the 12-foot pool and says, kick, stroke, kick, stroke. That's basically what I was doing.
No, it's more like you didn't know how to swim and you got thrown in the pool with Team USA.
Exactly.
That was swimming laps. Like,
and I got to keep up with
stepping in the
that.
pool with guys that are radio professionals that know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. So for like the first year or so, I'm dog paddling, but by the time it got to the end, I'm right next to them. Like, all right, let's go. I'm doing backstrokes and butterflies and shit because I had learned. So, but at the time I felt like I got to nail this thing. So I'm working on my jokes. I had a buddy who helped me out, who's an expert roaster and one of my friends in the comedy scene. And he had been a supporter of mine, a friend of mine for years. So he said, I want to help you with this. So I had some jokes. He helped me polish them up because I knew that I had to make an impact on this show. Everybody else was going there to have fun. I was going there to make a statement. So I get on that podium. Marshall introduces me. I hit the first joke. The crowd ate it up. And at that moment, I was like, when that first joke hit, I'm like, I got this. And I just kept the momentum going. And one by one, everybody's sitting there. Like the next day, here's the thing. It's the regular guys roast. But for the longest time, all anybody could talk about was Booch killing it. Like, that was what stood out to everybody. And I had jokes about everybody. I hit everyone. Although I will say at the time, Steve, Larry, Eric, and Tim were the 4 guys. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. Everybody else, I wasn't afraid to hit. Them, I was a little scared because I wanted to hit them, but not too hard because I didn't know them like that yet. Like today, I could do it no problem, but back then, not so much. So I thought, I'll see how this goes. I hope they take this as a joke. So, and I knew Steve took his like a champ because when I looked over at him, he got his head down, but he's like, he gave me the cheers, and Eric was in the back like a cheerleader going.
No, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
That's what a roast is. People don't realize it. You just
Exactly.
you take your shot, and if you get pissed or you cry, that's on you.
Yeah,
It's all good.
So every joke hit, and then of course I did what you do at a roast. I put the regular guys over, and then I ended up but it was one of those things where every joke hit, everything was amazing, and from that point on, that's when the fans of the regular guys started coming to me, like being fans. That's when I went from being the guy that nobody liked to the guy where, okay, some people still don't like me, but a fan base is growing. And that's when I started getting fans of the show that would be like, Booch, we love you. We look forward to hearing you on Fridays. Like, there were people who would tune in on Fridays just to see what I was going to do next. Like, and I
can say fuck.
Oh yeah. Just to say what the fuck I was going to do next. People would tune in just for that on Fridays. Like, they obviously listen the other days of the week, but on Fridays it was like, what are they going to make the Booch do now? And even I would walk in going, what are they going to make me do now? Like, I didn't know what was going to happen when I stepped through that door, but something crazy was going to happen. And the roast was what kind of it showed people that, that I am, it made me the Booch. Like, that was when people who doubted me were believers. Like, I turned the fans into believers. Jamie Bendel became a believer after that. Like, even he was amazed. Even Marshall was giving me props afterwards. Like, so many people even Big Kenny came up and told me I did a great job. Like, a lot of people who may not necessarily thought I was funny, they believed it that night. And that is a moment that it was like still to this day, one of the top 5 best moments on a stage I've ever had. Like, dude, the roast stands out to me the most.
Southside, I think you can agree. He's still got that high.
He does. I remember that night. It was funny. I was laughing. He did. He had a very fast pace. He just kept drilling, hitting, and it was done. It was done in what, in about 2 minutes? He was fast, but it was funny.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe 3. It was quick. It was quick. Yeah.
That's because I wanted to keep the momentum going because they were laughing. So I was like, I got to keep this thing going. I didn't want any breaks or any lulls. So I just kept going.
No, those roasts were fun. Yeah, we did a couple of those.
Yeah.
Hey, Vinny, I got to ask you, did you ever think that Southside would settle down?
Never in a million years. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Steve was one of those guys that he would say, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get married. But at first I didn't believe it. But there was one moment where I kind of knew he was going to. I didn't know if he was going to get married, but I knew at very least he found the one. Whether they got married or not was another story. But here's how I knew. As Steve mentioned before, we were doing the shows of the Gold Rush. And I remember one time, the 3 of us were standing in a corner. Now, keep in mind, this is a strip club. Naked girls dancing everywhere. Everywhere. There's on tables, on stage, on poles, everywhere. And at one point, we were having a conversation. And at one point, I saw Steve and Amanda talking. And the whole time Steve is talking to Amanda, he does not break eye contact. Not even out of his peripheral. He's not looking at any of these naked girls at all. He is staring into Amanda's eyes. It got to the point where I was done. I wasn't even talking anymore. I'm just staring at the both of them. In awe. And I'm sure Steve was probably thinking in the back of his mind, Vinny's being creepy right now, and I'm sorry if I was. Oh. But I was just kind of looking like, holy shit, he's not looking at any.
No. Well, in my defense, I was at the Gold Rush.
Good points. But I was saying he was looking at I'm like, if you're in a strip club surrounded by naked women and you're looking into the eyes of a woman who is fully clothed, you're in love. That's how I look at it. I'm telling, this man loves her.
That was the first promotion I ever took her on, was the Pink Pony. It was Bridget the Midget, and I invited Amanda just to meet me out. It was like one of our first dates, and I'm like, this girl goes to Auburn. She's been around. Of course, she's been into a strip club. I just didn't think anything of it at all, and I wasn't trying to be classless or anything. But she came in, and I saw her eyes, and then I find out she's never been in a strip club before, and I bring her into one for the first time, and there's a midget on stage dancing. I was like, well, that was different. I'm like, but it's Bridget. She's famous. She's wearing her little 2-inch tall high heels. It was quite the night.
Some midgets are very good strippers. They're very good at it.
All right, let's avoid that topic here.
Yeah.
Although Bridget the Midget is in the movie SWAT. So give her that.
She is.
Okay.
She was in Predator 2, I thought, too. Go ahead.
I do have a game I want to play real fast, and I was never a part of the regular guys, but both of you guys were. I mean, Steve, you're a regular guy, and, Vinny Bucci, you were pretty much a part of the regular guys.
Yeah.
So you guys remember in the opening, it was, which regular guy are you kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I want to play a game real quick called Which Regular Guy Are You Taking? And I'm going to give you both a situation, and you have to tell me in that situation which regular guy you're going to take with you, but you can't give me a reason why.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is that good?
Fair enough.
All right.
We'll do Booch goes first, Steve, you go second, all right?
All right.
Which regular guy are you taking to a Braves game?
Got to go with Larry.
I'll take Larry.
All right. Which regular guy are you taking to tell you professional advice?
Ooh, professional advice. That's the hardest one because it depends on the topic.
It's your job. You're a professional. It's your job. You're having a situation at work. You need professional advice. Who's going to give it to you?
Okay.
By the way, Southside, you can say yourself and say, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Man, this is tough.
Well, tell me that on the Braves game, because I would have gone by myself.
You motherfucker, you could have invited me.
Okay. I'll be honest with you.
I'm not a regular guy. You could not invite me.
No.
Okay.
Eric's the one you'd go to for advice.
Yeah. Well, for me, I would have to say, I have to say Larry again, because he's given me so much advice in my life, so he would definitely be a person I would talk to.
That's why you both live with your mom.
Which regular guy are you going to ask to go out and get a beer?
Ooh. Definitely Steve on this one.
Oh, God, yes. Please, Lord. Yes, I'm a blast.
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, me, I'll drink alone. If I had to pick one, I'd pick Eric.
Okay. You're about to do a large segment on a stage, like a 5-minute bit, open for a concert, anything like that. Which regular guy do you want on stage with you?
Me. I've already been on. I was opening for Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen picks me on his tour at the Fox after I did the interview, and says that he wants me to open up for him. Well, it leaks out. Next thing I know, I'm living down in Castleberry. I've got Channel 11, 5, 46, all interviewing me at different times out front of where I live. 2 trucks were there at the same time. Larry sees it on the news that I'm going to open up for Charlie Sheen, and then invites himself, shows up, hangs out, goes on stage, and gets us kicked off the stage within 10 minutes. And Charlie Sheen, swear to God, hand to God, leans into me and goes, dude, you were great, but your friend's a jackass, man. I'm sorry we had to kick you off.
Bucci, do not let that decide. You're about to do a comedy show. Which regular guy opens up for you?
Opens up for me.
Yes.
Okay. As far as, well, Larry's already opened a show for me before, so, but I
that
think
doesn't matter.
I know.
Doesn't matter. Who do you want?
I'm thinking.
Think faster.
I got. You know what, Tim? I'll go with Tim. I go with Tim.
All right.
On that one.
Which regular guy do you want to be your hype man?
Hype man. Ooh.
Jeez.
Bucci first.
Oh, this is so hard. This is so tough. To be my hype man. Well,
he's taking too long. I'll go Larry because Larry's actually pretty good. Larry's a great broadcaster. I'll never take that away from him. He's just not a good manager of people. That's his downfall. So he would have been great at that. He can if he turns it on you, if he turns the light on you, it's pretty golden.
Yeah. By the way, if y'all think this one's tough, I have about 4 more. And
let me just. Well, I'll say I honestly, if I think about it, I'd have to go with Larry because he's hyped me up for so much. Steve is definitely a close second, but Larry would definitely be the one for me too because he's put me over so much. I feel like he would know what to say. He would know what to say about.
Yeah, I would have a problem putting you over. I'd get like 1 or 2 lines. I'd be like, it's effing Booch. What the hell?
All right.
You would just tell everybody I ate a car and then with no context, and I'd have to explain it to everyone.
Yeah.
And then explain how you left him on the cutting room floor. Now, which regular guy would you want?
Yeah, dick. Sorry, go ahead. What?
Which regular guy would you want to be your wingman?
Gotta go with Steve.
I'm about to say, Booch, if you even hesitate, I'll kick your ass. I had sex more in a month than Larry had in his whole life.
Oh, trust me, I know the number.
Steve, on this one, you can't pick yourself.
I can't?
No, sir.
Man, that's bad. I don't know what to tell you. Shoot, I guess I'd have to go Tim.
Okay. Which regular guy would you ask for a personal loan?
Wow. For a personal loan.
You're stuck in a hard situation. You need some money.
Well, Tim owes me a ton of favors. I'd ask Tim. Eric would be understanding.
Yeah, I think
Larry would make you sign something.
I'd probably go with Larry on that one.
You're signing something.
I know.
Just telling you.
I got a feeling.
Right. Which regular guy would you invite to your wedding?
Well, I invited Larry and Eric and Tim. Tim came. Eric said, I don't do weddings. And Larry showed as well.
Yeah, on this, well, if I can only pick one, I'd have to go with Larry. Because I didn't get an invite. I would pick Steve, but I didn't get an invite to his wedding.
Yeah, well, what the fuck, dude? If you knew how much it costs, I was only allowed 75 people. Sorry, Booch, I got cousins that couldn't come. Screw you.
I'm just saying. They couldn't come. I'd take their spot.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's not, I promise you, that's not at all how it works. The last one I have to ask, and you boys better be ready to answer.
Oh, boy.
Which regular guy would you have a threesome with?
Damn. Whoa. Okay.
Booch,
before I
you want to have
this,
the biggest? You want to have the biggest penis in the room? I'll tell you.
Okay. I have to ask this question just to clarify: is the other person a girl?
The other person is a girl.
Okay, so it's me, a girl, and a regular guy. Okay.
It's you and a girl, and she says, "I need a regular guy with me."
And
Steve, for you, it's Well, I'm sorry because
Well, I'll take Larry. I've seen him naked. I've seen him. I don't even want to get into what I saw, and I know how long he lasts, so he wouldn't be in the room long. So I'd take him.
I would probably go with Larry, and that's mainly because a long time ago, Larry showed me this picture about this mother-daughter like ad on like the internet or something, where they were looking for a father-son to have like a four-way with, and Larry was actually saying, since we kind of look alike, was debating whether or not we could sign up for that. So I would probably pick Larry just to see if we would be ready for an upgrade like that. Let's see if we can tag team one woman and then graduate.
Yeah.
Well,
that's messed up.
I can hit my last one. I was going to start a new segment called Ring Check,
but you're right. Larry'd be the one that would do it with you, Booch. He'd have fun with it. Yeah, but he's that now. That was back in the day. I think everybody's married now.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all you guys went down the aisle.
Married. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
All good.
Well, do you want me to fire off one more segment?
What do you got? Make it quick.
Okay. So, Booch, this will play into what you were talking about earlier with somebody parking in front of your driveway. I recently had my home robbed, and I joined a community. It's called the Ring Neighborhood. I know I sound like an asshole saying it, but it's pretty fun to watch when you live in the ghetto to see all the shit people post. And I've started to notice some weird shit in my neighborhood, and I want to know how either of you guys would react to this. So this past Friday, somebody posted a video and it said, somebody stole a flag off our porch last night. Be on the lookout. Somebody commented, I recognize that guy. He has been known for stealing flags, masturbating on them, and return them later. Somebody said, ha, ha, ha. Is this true? The original commenter said, sadly, yes. So what would you do if somebody in your neighborhood was masturbating on flags?
Well, I mean, obviously I'd be upset about it, but my first question would be, depends on the flag. Like, is this an American flag in front of my house?
This was a Dodgers flag.
Oh, a Dodgers flag. Okay. All right. So at least they're not a complete asshole. All right. Okay. But still, like, why are you? My first question would be, find why the fuck this guy is doing this, and be on the lookout. If he comes back, do what you gotta do to make sure he doesn't do it again. Like, this is why would someone do that? Look, I mean, I don't know how you hate a team that much that you would steal somebody else's flag, but obviously if you know who it is, call the police. They're stealing your property and vandalizing it. See, if they give it back to you, they're still vandalizing your property.
Yeah, so I don't even want to use the little nasty word you just used. You're vandalizing something, so I'm going to have you arrested for sure. It's too weird to even answer. I can't believe that's happening in your neighborhood. I can't even get there from here. Definitely, I don't like anybody messing with the American flag, but
Yeah, that's why I asked if that was it.
Yeah, well, that's a smart question, but it was a Dodger flag, so who knows? So no, I can't get there with perverts. That's just weird. So Brett, I want you to erase that question from this podcast. I thought it was wrong.
That's not going to happen, but I do have to pee.
All right. Well, here's what we're going to do. You hold on. You don't go. Vinny, I don't know what to tell you. I apologize for that question. It was wrong. You let that go. I think Brett's intoxicated. And I think that's the cool thing about the Yeah, Come On show. You don't know what you're going to get sometimes. Brett drove a long way to do this podcast in his mother's house with that beautiful plant in the background. You, sir, were prepared and ready. I fell asleep in my kid's Hot Wheels bed. So it's just one of those nights. But, Booch, I will have you back on the Yeah, Come On show. Anything that you're doing, anything, to support you. And I thought it was nice how you gave back a little love to the regular guys, because if it wasn't for, I would mainly say Larry Wax, you would not have probably be where you are now. So, that show did a lot for you, and it was cool. And anybody that ever listened to it heard you. So I think it was really cool that you came on the podcast. So, and I want to watch this thing on Prime, man. 7-part series. What's it called again?
Booch and the Car.
Booch and the Car.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Booch and the Car.
Yeah, it's 7 episodes on Amazon Prime. If you guys want to check it out, I also encourage everybody to, after you watch it, to leave a review, because
Sure.
you know, the more reviews you leave, it helps with the algorithm. It makes it more searchable. The more people review it. So I always say, like, I don't, you know, give the review you want. I hope it's a good one because I think it's great. But I always tell people, if you can leave one, I appreciate it. Because
No, definitely, good or bad, it's all good.
yeah, absolutely.
And you know, and I want to encourage people to definitely check out our sponsors, circle285.com. Also, we have oxygenfinancial.com, and then Ridgeline Counseling. Very proud to work with Dr. David Markwo. He's a solid dude, and he's the best at what he does. So if you need to talk to somebody about something you're going through, you know, save a marriage, save a relationship, father and son, whatever you're going through, just you, Booch, you might need him one day. Just saying, you try to eat a car. And special thanks to Legends, who, not really a sponsor, but these guys have been fantastic. We've paired up for a month, and I got to tell you, it's a cool thing they're doing. They're local bourbon, and they've got it all. They got the bourbon, they got the vodka. Tonight I was drinking the 87. They got the 100. They got the 115, and they're coming out with a tequila as well.
It's
and
amazing,
a gin.
Actually,
it is absolutely amazing. Extremely smooth, no burn, no hangover. And again, if you send us some social media, you know, and you tag Legends_Spirits or the Yet Come On Show, and you're wearing a Yet Come On hat or got their bottle, send it to us this week. The grand prize will be given away the first week of April, and that's a $250 valued gift retail from them. It's a cool box, 4 glasses, a bottle of 115 or 110. I'm not sure which one, or 100. Maybe they're using the 100.
It's the 100.
100.
Yeah.
But that's just a cool thing. We're just trying to do cool little things, you know, for anybody that's a fan. We've got Yet Come On gifts. We'll handle that. They'll handle the liquor, and you get to go out and see their brewery. So it's kind of pretty cool. If you like bourbon and you like saying Yet Come On, you're at the right place. Brett, in closing, I want to thank you for your strange ass questions. I want to thank you for once again getting intoxicated. Stay at your mother's house. Don't you dare drive back home. Stay at your mother's house. Brett, where's your wife to be?
Do you really want to know the answer?
No, I guess not.
She's sitting right up there.
She drove you. That's so sweet.
No, I drove myself.
Y'all are spending the night there because y'all have no power.
Yes, we have no power, but after this, I have to work with her to write the whole ceremony for the wedding. So
stop drinking.
It'll be a legendary moment.
That was just sad, but I like it. I can't.
Hey,
Booch, I'm glad you're safe at home. I really am. Little Bucci. Booch, is there anything you want to say in closing before we let you go, brother?
yes, I do want to say thank you guys for having me on this having me on the Yeah Come On show. I'm excited. It was an honor to be able to be on here and talk to you guys. And also, I do want to say that, like you said before, the regular guys did so much for my career. Like I was talking to Brett a little bit about the stuff that I've been doing, and I always said that the crazy stuff you guys had me doing really prepared me for everything I was doing in entertainment. And I realized that, like, even though there were some segments that were a little out of control, and, at times it could be a little crazy, I know in the long run, I came onto that show with thin skin and walked out with the thickest skin in the world. Like it truly toughened me up to work with you guys. And I became a better person. I became a better podcaster, performer, working with all you guys. And as I said before, Larry did a lot to help me out with my career, most definitely. If you did a Kevin Bacon 6 degrees of separation in my career, Larry's the Kevin Bacon, most definitely. And I know you were also a big help to me as well, which I've always appreciated. Tim especially was behind the scenes. And even Eric in his own way was helpful as well. And so I've always been appreciative of that. And one thing I do want to mention is, in addition to everything else, I was telling Brett, the sketch comedy show that I'm doing is called The Going Live Show. And it airs bi-weekly on the Going Live Show YouTube channel. So the next episode will be April 8th. However, the latest episode is up there, and I was telling Brett that I got cast one of the characters I got to do on the show, and I didn't tell Brett this part, but it's going to be a recurring character that's going to come back at some point in the future because it did so well. And the sketch was called She's Karen. And what it's about is there's a girl named Karen, and it was based on, this controversy that was happening where a long time ago, this white girl called the police because she saw a bunch of black people in the park, but they weren't doing anything. So they take it to a high level where every time a black person walks by Karen, she freaks out and calls the police. And it just escalates. It gets more and more ridiculous. And here's the best part, Steve. When they were casting the roles, they called me personally and asked me to play Karen. So I played Karen on the show. They had me in a skirt, a blue-collar shirt. I had a sweater tied around my neck, the wig, a bonnet. In fact, hold on a second. I got a picture of it, actually. I'll show you guys real quick.
I thought I was in the show. Now I'm into Karen's. What
right.
the hell? Let me see.
There's Karen right there.
Oh my God.
And I did that literally. And so I got to do this character. So it's a sketch show every week. Karen won't be on this week, but I'll still be on this episode. But yeah, I'm doing this sketch comedy show called the Going Live Show. So you guys can check it out every Thursday. The next episode is April 8th on the Going Live Show YouTube channel. So make sure you guys check it out. And
well, there you go. At least you're having fun. May we all love each other. Cheers. Absolutely. No matter how you vote, what color you are, who you are, love.
Georgia's Legends Distillery produces multi-award-winning bourbons and vodka using our patented quantum purity technology out of Cumming, Georgia. Our 21st century technology combined with traditionally aged spirits results in an ultra-pure, smooth finish that leaves no burn on the back of the throat, and with Legends you can enjoy the night and take back the morning. So visit us online at spiritsusa.com or any of our social media pages and learn more about Georgia's award-winning Legends Distillery.